good.
So this is our electronics and robotics area, primarily test equipment, soldering stations, a lot of development resources, as well as some componentry. In general, we find that if you buy 500 of something from the manufacturer, it's the same price as getting 10 from a distributor. So if you plan ahead, buy a lot of them, leave your extras here. When you blow up your last one, you can come in and get one. So we all share componentry that way. Every Wednesday night is a free night here where we teach people that it's easy to solder. You may have seen the Soldering is Easy comic book. We use that to convince people that they can do electronics and that these things are in their reach. There's been a lot of exciting developments that make it where people can develop their own microcontroller, Internet of Things, or even just fixing something, helping them change the phone on their screen, the screen on their phone. It's whatever. There are a lot of people here that are really excited to share these skills and bring people into that world and see what they'll create. So this is our jewelry and hot crafts area. You can see we have 7 jewelers' desks. This is kind of nice because a jeweler's desk is something you could fit in most people's homes, and you could do this and not need to come into a place like this, but we still have a lot of jewelers that work out of the space in part to have something separate from their home, but also for the community. They're exchanging techniques, sharing some of the more exotic tools, as well as having a common workspace. So even for something that's 1,000-year-old tradition, we find some new ways to incorporate the laser cutter for acrylic stamp making, or our new casting area and glass work, but everything's evolving all the time, and there's a lot of a range of classes here, from introduction and make a ring, stone setting, enameling, boy, just all kinds of different things. Whatever people want to share, anyone can teach here, anyone can take a class. So. This is our local chopper gang, Skull. They've been going out for 21 years now, just over. Every Saturday night they go out and fight boredom in our neighborhood in the corner of the galaxy, protecting us with funky music and flashing lights, and being the superhero versions of themselves. It's also where we have our bike shop. So members can come in here, make use of a lot of shared tools to keep their bike up to speed. As well as the amazing people of Skull, who are always, their nicknames aside, some of the loveliest people we have here. They're actually led by Skunk, who's our TIG welding instructor and finds a lot of personality in leftover pieces of things. And you don't see a lot of folks who, we get comments that his TIG welding class was life-changing. I don't know how he does that, but it's really an experience that he guides you through.
Pardon me.
This is actually Skunk's Robot Orphanage. So you can see some of his handiwork here. As someone who is doing welding on titanium frames of top-end bicycles, it's an unforgiving job. This is a bit more whimsical, and you can see that he likes robots and rockets and ray guns. Shoot a happiness beam, he assures me. But as well as his new kind of missing link creatures that are just kind of fun ways. So this is both his display, and we make a lot of good use of space here. So it's also his work area. Here's his rolling welding cart. Here's his collection of amazing parts that will later become, robots. Anyway, they're a lot of fun. How are you?
Animated tour here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see. Whoops. Welcome. So the wood shop here is our largest shop, in part because wood projects are large, and in part because that's the area we get the most people come in with some experience, having done some training in school with woodworking or having some familiarity with it. Really, there's nothing here that's too unique and wasn't the same tool 200 years ago attached to a water wheel, but these have dust collection and laser pointers. Other than that, it's the same good old stuff. All the same risks and dangers, and you have a lot of respect for the tools to be safe, but we believe that anybody can learn and be able to make things. This is a bit more esoteric. Here, what we call CNC Alley, we have the multicam, which is a heavy industrial CNC machine that will do wood, plastic, aluminum, what have you. Next down we have a ShopBot, which is a bit more accessible and easier for people to learn and manage themselves. And beyond that we have a CNC plasma cutter for steel, which is nice. Gives you a good head start, save you a lot of grinding if you need a circle. Our welding shop is here. We have 5 welding bays so that we can have people able to weld even while we have classes going on. But we teach TIG welding, MIG welding, oxyacetylene, torch, spot welding. The classes can be either in a specific technology, like learn TIG welding, or in an area like sculptural metalworking, or make a stool. Our most popular one is probably metalwork intensive. We learn a little bit of cutting, grinding, and welding. Typically, people will work to build our furniture. So as you look around at our carts and our shelves, they may look like they were made by somebody welding for the first time. That's because you can only grind away so many mistakes, and they were made by somebody the first time. If we don't have anything to work on, they'll cut these apart and put them back together. But it keeps people with a relevant, meaningful project to work on, but they don't have to buy a bunch of steel or end up with something they don't really want at the end of a class. We've got a vented room for spray painting, finishing, varnishing, and other things that smell bad, as well as powder coating out here. A small-scale powder coating station. And here in our most recent expansion, Building 13 starts off with a bit of storage, but then goes into our machining. So watch yourself. You can see these are from our Make Your Own Bicycle Frame class in progress. It's one of our most popular, but it's a very long class. It's a lot of work that goes into making a bicycle frame. Afterwards, you'll have one that you made, which is exciting, but you'll also really be able to appreciate going and buying one and all that went into it for you. It's kind of fun. The tools here are, again, very traditional tools for the most part. Some will have computer readouts and whatnot now, but we get a lot of older used tools. This arbor press back here is 125 years old, which is kind of exciting. It still will do its job. It was made locally. It's had who knows how many factories and shops it's been in over the last century and a quarter, but we can still find a useful home for it here. Other things, these CNC lathes just came from a school that upgraded. We try and take advantage of the opportunities we have to work with the tools that are available to us to teach a wide range of things. This is an example of we're doing our own CNC control system for a Bridgeport. And this VM40 machine was actually left behind in a mill that a factory had moved out of. So we actually got it up and running, but the original control system from 1986 wasn't reliable, so we're replacing that one as well. Here in digital fabrication, we have a variety of 3D printers, laser cutter. This is based on the asylum, open source laser cutter project. We built that. We have a vinyl cutter, a more traditional kind of, as they call it, cheap Chinese laser, and there's an epilogue laser that was in here as well. The 3D printers range from a rep wrap made in a fab lab in France that they were kind enough to share with us, as well as some flash forges and a U-print that's currently under repair. But that's one of the challenges. You know, having a tool is one thing, Maintaining a tool is another. Those are a different set of skills. We get a lot of people come in, oh, I know how to use this machine. I've been doing it for years. I'm an expert. And they take our checkout and they may not pass our test because they've never had to change the belts themselves, monitor the fluid levels, do all these sort of maintenance tasks, because we don't just train you how to use a tool, we train you how to own a tool and be responsible for its use across the board. So this is one of our just kind of shared workspaces. During the day, people will be working in here. Tuesday nights, you'll see that platform is out, and we have figure drawing, so the models will be there. We find it's good to have them in a room with walls to separate them from the machine operators. But as well as sewing classes, mold making, neon glass class took place in here. And it's all about flexibility. So for us, it's just being able to have this space and make use of it for what we need when we need. So you can see pretty much everything's on wheels and everything moves around as we have different requirements. So I think that's probably a good pausing point.